Hello and welcome to the new video of Gati Education of Software Engineering. And today we are going to learn a new topic named as process models. So out of all the models which we have seen in the flowchart, the waterfall model is the simplest one because it is linear sequential model. Sequential means it goes in a sequence. So the activities which we learn, communication, planning, modeling, construction and development, are the important activities for the waterfall model too. So here, as you can see in the diagram, first of all communication is there, thereafter planning, thereafter modeling, thereafter construction and then deployment. After one by one steps are there, one by one we need to go on to the next step. So this is how the waterfall model works. That is why it is known as linear sequential model. It goes linearly one by another sequence, right? So what is the use of waterfall model? So when the requirements are really clear, what customer wants, it is clear in his or her mind, then we can use this model. Why? Because there is no coming back. We can only move forward. As you can see, after communication there will be planning, after planning modeling, after modeling construction and then deployment. There is no going back. So one by one you can only move forward to the steps. There is no going back. That is why whenever the requirements are very clear, then and then only we can go for this waterfall model. And it can be used like the software process model is not much used in industries nowadays, but it can be used when we want to get a new system. Like there's one existing system and we know what new approach we want in that system, then we can correctly use this model because it only moves forward. There is no coming back. So this is how the waterfall model works. Now, as we know the working of this model, which we have already covered in the activities part, that communication means requirement gathering, then what planning means, then what modeling means, and what what all things will be done in modeling, construction and deployment are clear, right? In the previous video we have already covered that. So if you have not yet seen that video, I will be putting the link of that video in the description box below. So please watch that and then only come for this video, so you'll get to know what all these things are. Fine. Now let us move forward for the drawbacks and the advantages of this waterfall model. Let us now see the drawbacks of waterfall model. So number one is real life projects rarely follow the sequential flow. So as I mentioned earlier when I was explaining the waterfall model sequence, I already mentioned that it is rarely used. Like as we cannot go back, not much developers or companies use this project, use this model, as it is sequential. One by one there are steps which move forward. The next drawback is difficult for the customer to state the requirements explicitly. I already mentioned that when the customer's requirements are very clear and there are not going to be any changes in the requirements, then and then only we can go for waterfall model. So this is one of the drawback, that customer has to give all the requirement list during the beginning of the project only. No changes can be done afterwards. The next is customer must have patience because the working model will be given at the end of the last stage. Yes, that's true. That I forgot to mention, that one by one every step is there, right? Now, what if the customer wants to see the work in progress? What work is going on and all. So if I give that civil engineering project architect wala example, then those people have at least 2D image ready when the 3D image is not yet ready, right? But when it comes to waterfall model, the whole working model will be deployed at the end. In that deployment phase, When deployment phase is there, then they'll deliver the whole software all together. The customer cannot see the advancements going on in it. So that is one of the drawback, and that is, I believe, biggest drawback, that the customer won't be able to connect to the software when it is ongoing. And the last drawback is you cannot go back in the waterfall model, that I have already mentioned, that there are only forward steps. You cannot go back in the waterfall model, and that is the biggest reason why it is not used much in real life projects. Because of this reason only, it is not much used. So these were the drawbacks of our waterfall model, which is our linear sequential process model, but it can be used in some of the clear requirement cases, like for example, if I give some example, like government's railway ticket reservation system, if I talk about. So they are clear with what they want, the home page, how they want, how the systems should work, what all the pages should show and all. The requirements are clear. So on that note, in this case, waterfall model can be used. This was just one example to explain you how waterfall model can be useful and how it cannot be useful. This much for today's video. Today we learned about the linear sequential model, and the example of it, that is waterfall model, we have done. In the next video, we'll go through the incremental process model. So till then, keep learning, be safe, and if you learn anything from my video, please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon for the notifications. Thank you.